how's it going? Welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about what you want to do before your minions meet. So this is everything in the first minute of the game, and I'm going to talk about it from the different roles and some different timings and stuff. I hope that you guys learned something new. If you like the video, please drop a like or comment down below how I helped you guys out. So we're going to go into a training game, and we're gonna pick our boy Vel'Koz, and let's show you guys some important things about the start of the game. So I'm gonna start off talking about it as if I was a mid laner and where I want to go, and then we'll reset. We'll go through as a jungler, we'll go through as a top laner, support, and bot lane, and we'll do that all from the blue side perspective. All right, so first things first, the game starts before 15 seconds. Until 15 seconds, everyone is locked within this little circle. You cannot leave. So as soon as you load into the game, you want to open up your shop and you want to buy your items. It's actually important how fast you buy your warding trinket, because as soon as you buy it, it starts ticking down. Don't just wait until you leave the base. It will automatically grab you a warding trinket if you wait until you leave the base. But we want to make sure that we buy that as soon as possible. We're already past 15 seconds, so we're late. We'll have a speed boost, but you want to be out as soon as 15 seconds hits. And you want to head towards the entrances to your jungle. The reason for this is because your turrets will save themselves. I like, as a mid laner, to go to this bush right away, and I will hug this wall as I go in here. So I will come in, and this way I can see anyone that's there, but I can get to this bush as fast as possible. Now, if I'm in this bush quickly, I can see enemies coming in through here. I find that most people go through here. And if I was perfect, I should get here before any other teams. If there's a whole bunch of people trying to get to me, I should be able to see them. A little cute technique with Vel'Koz I like to do is I will throw a Q in that direction. It'll cover that bush and this to try to get my early mana flow ban proc. But it'll also sniff out anyone that's there and usually will cause them to back off, especially if there's a lot of people or if they've already made it here in some way. Let's turn off minion spawn real quick. All right, now, where do I want to put my ward? I see a lot of people put their initial ward in this bush. And I'm going to tell you guys, that's a big no-no. We don't want to do that. The reason we don't want to do that is because it's not important for us at the start of the game to know that someone's there. The reason why is because we are wards at the start of the game. We don't care if someone is invading right there, because we can stand right here and see them come in. We don't have to be in that bush ourselves. We don't have to contest that bush. That bush will deal on its own. If people are coming in, you will see them. So wait here until your camp spawns and then go do it. Occasionally, people will come in for a late invade, but I find that is so rare, and you're going to not want to waste your valuable trinket, your first trinket, on protecting this bush. In the case of something like Blitzcrank or whatever, you should probably be pulling your camps back. There's no reason not to pull the red buff all the way back here, because you can. He doesn't start running away until he gets to about here. Look, he's still not losing fury, so you can pull him really far out. As we see, we pull him back in there, and they actually can't even see him at that range. So keep in mind that you can pull him away. You do not need to waste your first wards in this initial bush. All right, where do you want to put initial wards? As a mid laner, I usually want to save my wards unless I really need to help out my jungler. Consider your jungler. If they're an early farmer and the enemy is an early ganker, you should help them out, specifically on their weak side. The weak side is the side that they're not starting. I'm going to call it that. I don't know if anyone calls it that, but we're just going to call it the weak side for the purposes of this video. So let's say, you know, your jungler starts here with your bot lane. He gets a nice leash, and you see that happening. Before around 115, you're going to want to put a ward in this bush to defend counter ganks. Now, I did say earlier that you don't want to put one in here early. This is a specific ward looking for the enemy to do what's called a vertical jungle. That is, if there's Grave or something like, Graves might start top lane, get his red buff, and then immediately come across. If he comes across here, you will see him as he walks through here. So you may not even want it in this bush. You may want it a little over. You may want it like here to see this guy as he comes in. All right, so now we know why we want this vision. This is for farming junglers like Yi or Evelyn or Shyvana that aren't going to be able to take a good trade early on. We don't want to get them. We don't want to let them get behind. Now, uh, otherwise, you pretty much want to hold your ward. Your ward is very, very valuable. And if they're a level 2 gank, you'll want to put a ward here probably. If they are, especially if you know what side they're starting on, if they're starting red, put it there. If they're starting blue and they're level 2 gank, they're starting there, maybe put it there. Just to make sure that these guys aren't coming in after you early. If they're not a level 2 ganker, then you're going to hold on to about level 3. And you can tell all of these things by looking at your own jungler's experience. If your own jungler is still level 2, there's a good chance that the enemy is still level 2. If your jungle is level 3, it's a good chance that they're level 3. And you want to put these things out before the enemy gets to these points. You can't go when they're level 3 because you might get into this thing where the enemy is right here. All right, and then I go to ward because I want to ward this bush. Oh no, they're right there because he was level 3. We want to do it when they're level 2. We want to get the ward out when they're not there. Okay. So I usually will do it around 3. I really like, especially on the side, there's a nice little ward right there that covers both sides here, right on the eggs there. It's a lovely ward. If we could show this here. You get a nice, beautiful view of what's going on here. So we can see people in the river. We can see people over there. In fact, I think there's an even better placement for it. We'll hide our words over here. We get it right here on the edge, and we can get. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous view. Huge view from that. So great wards. There's great positions for wards that you could put to make sure that people can't come in and gank you. So that's pretty much it for mid lane. That's your initial ward. That's the start of the game. Let's go and talk about jungler. All right, jungler. Let's clear all our wards out. Jungler, as soon as the start, you want to buy your items, you want to get everything out, and you want to defend your jungle. So there's two cases. Either you're looking to invade or you're not. If you're looking to invade, that means that you believe yourself to be stronger than the enemy jungler. In that case, you're probably going to want to steal a buff if you can. A lot of people will do what's called vertical jungling. So as a jungler, I want to go from my buff to their buff, or maybe I'll even start on their buff. In these cases, we want to go out at the start and get vision of the enemy camp if we can. Go with your Toplaner, get your Toplaner, get some pings here, and drop a ward there. Before the buff is up, you'll know if they're there or not. You can see if they're doing it. So then you'll want to back. As soon as you drop that ward, you'll want to back. So you've now backed, and you're going to switch to your red trinket. An interesting thing about how the trinkets work at the start of the game is that it will be ready by the time you finish your first camp. It's much faster than the time it takes if you were just to stay on the yellow trinket. Switching in between your trinket types will speed up their cooldowns. Why do we do this? Because, well, we kill this buff, okay? We take the time, and when we want to go invade, we can sweep and we can make sure that we're undetected as we go across. So most junglers, especially invading junglers, you'll want to use your sweeper early. You put down a ward early and then sweep over as you come through. So if I see them start on this side, I can just go to this side. I can switch and do my red. If I don't see them on that side, then I can start my blue. So that early vision, or maybe putting it here. Well, I don't have the trinket right now. You'll want to put this down so that you can see where the enemy starts. Knowing where they start, especially if they group up there early, a lot of people will just congregate around the buff that they're doing. So you can see that they're taking this, and then you'll know, okay, I can steal this even. You could even know to steal it. If you put that early, you can go steal it. But you always want to switch to your Oracle Lens after you put that early ward down so that you can go to the opposite side and sweep while you're here. All right. So that's it pretty much for the jungler. You don't want to waste your ward. Otherwise, maybe you could protect yourself if you're a weak jungler like a Mumu or... God, there's a lot of weak junglers these days. Maybe you're playing an off-meta jungler. But sometimes you may just want to put a ward just to keep yourself safe, especially if it's your second side. I can... God damn it, I keep on ending up with these. You can put an early ward down here just to make sure that when you start your red, that you're not going to get ambushed when you get to your blue. I see a lot of times you'll do your red, you might do your Raptors if you're an AoE clear, or you'll do the Wolves next. And then by the time you get to your blue, the enemy's going to be right here. They cleared faster than you, or they got a leash and you didn't, or something happened. Having this ward down in the beginning of the game means that you know that they're there. And if you know they're there, then you can avoid the confrontation. Yes, you'll still have to lose the buff, but it's better than losing the buff and dying. All right, let's talk about if we're a top laner. Top laners, there's two options. One, you can stay with your team to make sure they don't do anything stupid. Sometimes this is good. Sometimes it encourages them to try something stupid. I usually, as a top laner, I like to keep my games consistent. I don't like to try anything too fancy. So what I will do as a top laner is I will run to right here and I will just guard this area. No one, and I mean no one, is going to be going all the way up to that bush with their bot lane. Like there's not going to be some invade where they're going up there up top through that tri-bush. So don't worry about guarding off here. Try to guard here to stop them from being able to get that ward in there. If you can scare people off from getting these wards we've been talking about, that means that your jungler is now invisible. Huge bonus. So try to get here. You can maybe even get in this bush, but you just need to be aware that you want to back off at any sign of aggression unless you have teammates. Or that you know you win the 1v1. If you are someone who wins the 1v1, go ahead and wait here. I love doing things like on sign, just sitting here and just holding a blind Q and just getting someone that's unaware. But then you'll want to back off. You don't want to take the fights that you don't need because you unless you get a kill, you're going to start laying behind in resources if there's other people there. So even if you manage to get out, you might have to flash, you might have to do other things. We just want to stop people from coming here. If you if we have Scion or Darius or whatever, we can scare them off and then we don't actually have to fight. If we know we can win the fight, we can take it. But most of the time, you could just sit there and just do things that'll scare people off. Someone like Maokai doesn't want to take a fight early on. Maybe just throw a seedling in that bush. So that's what the top laner's job is. You want to do this. You don't really want to drop your warning totem unless, again, there's one of those early junglers that might come in and hurt your jungler's clear, might try to counter gank, or sorry, might try to invade on you. In that case, you might talk with the mid laner, and you might be the one to drop this ward here. Usually the mid laners are a little bit safer, so they'll be the one that should drop it here, but top laners can also do it as well. And then lastly, we're going to talk about support and bot. Support and bot, your job is to get here. You're defending here, and you're also going to want to have someone defending here. I usually like to have the support here because they typically have a better slow at level 1 or a movement speed buff or something to get out of dodge, but you want to make sure that you're covering as much vision as you can. Do not let these walls limit your vision. If you could see this, no one's going to catch you. Don't let people catch you. So come out here, make sure you see them, and then run away. Knowing that they're coming here, seeing that they're coming here, and we're going to want to go down towards our turret. Do not go this way. Someone could be here. Someone could have come over this. We want to go down towards our turret to safety here. But we do know that the enemy is likely here. I will see a lot of people that do this, and this is bad because you give time for someone to come right here, and you don't want to give them that. But yeah, we just want to make sure that they're not there. And as we wait, we're making sure that cheesy comps, especially like Blitzcrank and Draven or something like that, they're not lying in wake, waiting to kill us. And then after that, we'll wait until a minute 35 to be right here in time to help out our jungler. Something I see a lot of people do when helping out a leash or even going to their lane is that they don't know when to leave the buff. A lot of people will wait until it gets half health. A lot of people will wait until, a certain amount of auto attacks or whatever. But in reality, what you want to wait for is when your minions collapse into the wave. So we're going to turn on minion spawn here, and we're going to fast forward 30 seconds. So we're going to see when the minions come together. So as soon as they hit like this, that's my time to leave. And I don't want to go this way. If I go this way, I'm risking the biscuits for no reason. There's no reason to go here. So plan it out. Come kite it this way. You're ranged almost always in the bot lane. Attack the stuff and come this way. You'll have plenty of time to get to these minions if you wait properly. So let's do that. Let's clear out the minions again. And let's see, right? So we toggle the minion spawn. They're here. All right, they're coming to meet. It's time for me to leave. I leave. Now, these didn't line up properly because it's not the first wave. The first wave will line up, but you will not miss a minion. See how they're all focusing the same minion? they will line up, and you'll be able to come out here and you will be able to cast one ability to get all 3. If you're Jhin, you'll get that sweet bouncy Q that you always love that hits 3 minions. It's so much fun. Or if you're Jinx, you can shoot 1 rocket, or Tristana, 1 E passive will knock it all out. And you'll be there just in time. You won't miss any experience. No matter how hard they push, you'll get that. There are some, of course, more high-level techniques, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. I'm going to turn off the minion spawn again. So hopefully that helps you guys out a lot. Supports and ADC, you probably shouldn't be using any wards at all at the beginning. You're very weak. Junglers love to come to bot lane. And depending on the wave state, you'll probably be pretty pushed up. Mid lane is the one that wants to help the jungler out, and the jungler wants to put a forward ward. And then top lane can help out the jungler on their weak side, or bot lane can help the jungler on the weak side, depending. And in that case, then we want to give the top lane wants to keep their ward if they can. Bot lane wants to keep their ward if they can. Mid lane, you have a much shorter wave. You should be a little bit safer. That's about it. Hopefully you guys have more questions. Please leave them down below. If it's the first time coming to the channel, please subscribe. This is brand new. I'm just trying to get into this thing. And leave a like. I think that's a thing you can do too. Also, I'm a streamer. Check out the stream anytime. All that will be in the description below, as well as my other social media accounts. So thank you guys so much for listening, and have a great day.